Hey, Janet. How are you?
Morning.
Good to see you. How are you?
Did you sleep well?
I slept perfect.
How's your time today? You have to get back by a certain time?
It's okay, whenever I get there.
Okay. So we'll turn around. You keep track of the time.
I'll keep track. What do you have this weekend, Janet?
This weekend, my son and daughter-in-law's anniversary.
Oh.
Close to 40 years they've
Wow.
been married.
It's a long time.
And they have a good
Morning.
marriage. They're so like you and Melita. They consider of each other, and Mike is not a macho guy where he feels women's job and men's job.
Yeah.
I see him folding clothes, and he's a very good husband.
Well, somebody,
like you.
Somebody must have raised him well. See these X's, Janet? This is when
What is that?
COVID,
Oh,
when they were waiting,
the
when they were waiting
well,
to get
there
tested.
used to be long line around the corner,
Yeah.
and I would always walk across
Right,
the street.
right.
When we were going to rock climbing, Miss Junior told me that I didn't have to worry so much about jobs or
Oh yeah, you don't have to worry. You're so young. We have so much time. That's the nice thing about being a student is that you're just there to learn as much as you can and then figure out what you want to do with it later. You carry your personal alarm everywhere with you now, right?
I have one right now.
Nice. And your hand sanitizer, very prepared.
I just pull it right here.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so perfect. It's like also like hidden so people can't see.
Yeah.
The incident that you were telling me about when the group of men were taunting you in Chinatown, which street was that on?
I can't remember, but it wasn't as bad because I was with my friends.
That's good. Were you the only one with the alarm, or did they also have some?
I think they had to.
Had the ones that you gave to them?
Yep.
Amazing. All of my friends also have personal alarms and pepper spray now, which is amazing. And family members
Me too.
all across the country, so.
They talk about it a lot at Oliver's school.
Oh, do they?
Not specifically what happens, but just that, you know, this is present and this is something that's out there. You know, Oliver's a quarter Chinese, and so we try to teach him what's the right thing to do.
I think my grandchildren too, or my great-grandchildren. I think if they saw someone being hurt, they would go get help, or they don't even have to be told. They just know.
Yeah.
They just know. But that's why it was so hard to believe when people are being beaten up and
Yeah.
no one's paying any attention. That is the most hurtful.
I wish you didn't need an escort, you know, and I think about myself, or
yes.
even Oliver
Yeah.
doesn't face that fear that you might face going out, and
Yeah.
I think that's the sad part of it, is that
Well,
we need each other that way, unfortunately.
You know, down our street, there was a house with like written in colorful chalk. They wrote like, "Open your eyes, like it's China doing this," or
What?
yeah. You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah. Well, me and
Were we on a walk, or were you and your sister walking the dog?
yeah, me and Dad were walking.
Oh.
I can only imagine what they think of Chinese people in our neighborhood. Little things like that, you know, that you may not have noticed. Me and Dad or me and Sissy have noticed.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're trying to be like, oh, we better protect this person from Mom, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm going out
Yeah.
with you so that way we can face these things. And
Yeah.
if an incident like that ever occurred, you know, like somebody got into a direct altercation with you,
Yeah.
I would be there at least. I could say like I was there with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
know that there are people at the hospital system that I work at that were also attacked. Person that I work with on the way to work was attacked at the subway station. So now I don't take that subway station anymore. At like 8 a.m. in the morning, which is crazy. But there are other people, nurses, who are also punched on the street on the way to work.
Yeah, these things make people feel limited.
Yeah.
I feel like you're at a higher target because you're Asian and just because I'm overprotective. Does that make sense?
But do you ever feel afraid for your safety though?
For my safety, yeah, of course. I walk around with my mace and start taking self-defense classes, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, shoot, I have to protect myself, you know?
Yeah.
Because
But
these random ass attacks.
Do you feel specifically
because I'm Asian?
because you're Asian?
Yes. Yeah, I do. I think because I'm different looking, you know.
Uh-huh.
Our struggles are definitely different because, you know,
Yeah.
you're Japanese and I'm mixed, and I feel like I don't belong sometimes because of that. Do you understand why me and, you know, our family fears when you go out as opposed to like me and, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, I told you, were you with me when we were in Target? It was during COVID. We were grocery shopping, but we were in Target, and I remember this older white man just giving me the dirtiest look.
Yeah.
He just stopped and just glared at me.
Like just
That's
literally.
one of the first times I've ever noticed anybody, you know, openly looking at me that way, and you could see on his face what he was thinking, and I felt like saying, you know, I was born and raised in this country, and first off, I'm not Chinese, because that's what I felt like he was thinking, you know, what a lot of people were saying, or what you hear people are saying on the news too. Hate, yeah.
You know, there's similar stories from when you were young to today.
Yeah, it
you know?
seemed like
they still happen.
it seemed like, well, it's always been ongoing.
Right.
But to me, it's like my childhood all over again. I was around 7 when World War II broke out, and we went to internment camp, and I just remember I had to be next to my mother all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I was just such a timid kid anyway.
Well, I mean, Janet, being moved from your home to a camp at 7
I guess it
probably
was
makes you a little fearful.
probably, you know, when we first came out of camp, the teacher made an announcement. We have a new student, and her name is, and she hesitated, Itsuko Makiyama. What kind of name is that? Who could pronounce that? We're going to have to give you a name that we could say.
Your teacher?
The teacher and the whole class. And I felt so small and so ashamed of my name.
You kind of catch yourself feeling embarrassed maybe of where you came from, of the way I looked, the way I talked. So that's one thing I also do subconsciously that I just realized is when we go to the store, talking to people that we don't really know very well, I find myself speaking really clear, very good English. I try to tuck my pidgin accent away because I feel like I want to prove to people
that you belong there.
Yeah, I belong here. I'm American, you know.
Yeah.
Those are all the little subtle things that I didn't notice, and I think it's, you know, just, you know, how that probably altered my
thinking,
my personality, my
your
choices,
personality,
everything.
I don't know.
It's okay.
I
'Cause
know I'm not fully accepted. Ever.
Ever?
Yeah. Just for who I am. That's just a fact of life.
Meaning Japanese,
Being Asian.
being Asian.
And well, when I was a kid, I thought just being Japanese, but I think it's all Asian. I don't think we would ever be fully accepted in society as true Americans. We're Americans, but that's just a fact of life. And I just don't dwell on that.
So right here. I love this street.
So pretty.
Yeah. I'm so happy that the sun sets later so you can enjoy more of the day. Because now when it gets dark, I don't really feel comfortable walking out
Daylight
anymore. Yeah. Do you guys walk around at night as a family or not really? No.
It's not really safe anymore.
Yeah. So now I walk around a lot more with Howard because, I mean, feels safer to walk with a guy. And I always bring pepper spray or personal alarm with me. But I mean, I love running and it's fun to like be able to do it by yourself. But
Sometimes we're not allowed to do that. It's not like we're not allowed to do it, but like it's hard.
it's unsafe now at certain times, so. But it's fun to walk with a buddy too.
At least you got someone to talk to.
I just have someone to talk to, yes.
Yeah, I'm proud of how close we've gotten to.
Me too.
You know, people always tell me like, you know, you and your mom sound so close. I'm like, yeah, we've had
Yeah,
to.
it was hard work,
Yeah, it was hard work. I think just being with you, you know, I know I don't always want to go to the grocery store with you or like,
Yeah.
or like, you know, because that's boring to me, or
Yeah.
you know, sometimes even walking like this, you know, I'm like, oh, I have homework. You know, I think learning the value of being together is not just about because you want another person here. It's also for
Yeah.
safety, you know.
Yeah.
And
That's
now
true.
I feel more pressured to go with you more often.
Oh, sorry. I
Don't
don't
be
know. I don't
sorry.
really feel afraid.
You don't feel afraid.
No, but I think sometimes if you're looking too hard for those things, then you can, you know, mess it up for yourself or scare yourself
That's true.
enough into not wanting to do some, you know, go
Go
things by
places.
yourself.
That's true.
You know, you made me that painting when my father passed away, and you know, you give me way more than I give to you.
I don't think so.
But it's,
I appreciate the volunteers, you specifically, so much. I think I'm so much luckier than so many others out there that maybe don't have anyone and afraid to go out and go to the market or just go out at all.
you're
I don't
always
know.
so humble, Janet. You inspire me a lot because you are so resilient.
Well,
and
like
you're
I
so
said, we
positive.
just take what's handed to us and make the best of it. And that's what we all have to do. Like right now, we're just making the best of the situation. And eventually, we hope everyone will be free to go out as they please.
I feel like our life has changed. Maybe because of the walks, maybe because we had no choice, but this is the only way to get out without worrying about catching COVID, you know.
Yeah.
But I can only hope that we keep doing this now that things are getting back to normal.
Yeah. Being out is a luxury.
you know, all the violence, is it going to change now? Is it going to continue? I just feel like things keep evolving.
Yeah, into bigger and worse things. I mean, maybe I'm just a pessimist, but
Well, it's happening right in front of your eyes, right?
yeah, it's hard to ignore.
Yeah,
And stay,
it is.
keep your mind on the positives, you know.
Yeah, well, I guess that's our choice.
Yeah,
Difficult.
choose to walk and just be happy.
Keep walking
about what we
and
have.
look over your shoulder every so often, make sure.
Keep your pepper spray in your hand.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.